Sonic Forces is pretty infamous for its linear level design, and I don't mean that in a good way. In this clip alone, we can see Sonic boosting forward without any other input from the player. Well, I want to take this concept and flip it completely on its head. Today, we're going to be seeing if we can complete Sonic Forces without ever boosting. The rules are simple. At any point during this run, we are not allowed to touch the boost button. Also, we'll only be playing levels that feature modern Sonic. You don't need me telling you that you can beat every classic Sonic level without boosting, because that'll just get tedious. And by every level, I mean every level. Every extra stage, every boss fight, every opportunity you have to play as modern Sonic is a level we will be trying to complete without boosting. This video was inspired by this video, so I recommend checking it out after you're done here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this kind of content, and let me know if I should do more of these challenge type videos in the future. Also, the full VOD for this challenge will be in the description below if you want to check that out after this. Anyways, we've got 25 stages to go through, so let's do this. Lost Valley is the first stage you start with, and a little bit into the level, we are introduced to the White Wisps. If you don't know, these little guys give us the ability to boost, and we are never allowed to use them in this whole run. Immediately after are a group of enemies that we're meant to boost through, but obviously we can't do that, so we just need to jump over them or use Sonic's homing attack to clear them out of the way. The first thing that took a little bit to get used to is that there are just large group of enemies everywhere throughout these stages that just stand there. You're meant to just boost right through them without ever really thinking about it, but when you take away the boost, it becomes really tedious to jump around them and becomes very annoying throughout this whole challenge. Also, when you're not boosting, you really take the time to examine Sonic and how strange his run is. I mean, right at the beginning you can see him start to slowly speed up, then suddenly he just goes to top speed without any type of visual indication or anything like that. Just watch him land here after this jump. See how he suddenly gains a ton of speed without much effort? They could have put more effort into making this speed gain gradual, but we've already talked enough about this first level. Just run through the level normally, homing attack enemies instead of boosting through them, take the bottom paths, and you'll be fine. The next level is the boss fight against Zavok. You can't even gain boost in this level, even by homing attacking enemies, so this one's easy to beat. Also, just a quick fun fact, this is what happens when you try to boost without any boost in the boost gauge. I said boost a lot. Sonic does this little shuffle thing, and I think it's kind of funny. Following this is Egg Gate. As soon as the level starts, run to the right and don't stop. Just make sure you jump over any pits and you'll be fine. These large, slow-moving crushers seem like they'll crush you if you're not fast enough. But as long as you keep running, none of them can crush you throughout this level. You can just continue to go through this level as normal, avoiding the enemies on the rails and doing all the quick time events, and you should be able to complete the level without ever using boost. Arsenal Pyramid is the first modern Sonic and Avatar stage. If you're at all familiar with this level, you'll know that this level requires you to do a double boost about 30 seconds in. Unfortunately, there's no way to avoid these double boost sections without using the boost, but the double boost is different from the normal boost. Because the normal boost you can do at any time, and the double boost is reserved for only certain parts of the level. So for the sake of this video, the double boost and boost are different. Moving on, with this level I recommend using the Lightning Wisp Bomb to go through it quickly. After falling into the pyramid, you pick up a lightning wisp and follow all of these ring trails throughout the level. If you do them, you can avoid a bunch of tedious enemy gauntlets. Once you're done with this section, you're dropped in front of a bunch of enemies that you're supposed to boost through, but you can just go around them or hit them with your lightning wisp bomb and complete the level. After that, we head to Luminous Forest, the level that inspired this whole challenge. Instead of boosting through all the enemies who are just standing there or running away from you, I would recommend just running around them all. It's a lot faster than trying to homing attack them, and it's just an overall time save. Once we hit the 2D section, follow the top route, destroying the enemies along the way and double jumping when needed. Once you get back into the 3D section, there are a lot of boost panels on the floor that will just shoot you straight ahead towards a group of enemies. This isn't an issue when you're boosting, but becomes a huge problem when you aren't. Just try to jump over or avoid the enemies during this section, do the quick time event, and you're golden. The first fight with Infinite is next, and there's not too much to talk about here. Sonic's base speed is already faster than Infinite's speed when he flies backwards, so just keep running forward until you win. This is actually a problem with most of the bosses that you fight in this game, in which you're continuously running after them. We'll talk about the exceptions later. Sonic very slowly catches up to the boss, so there's no real challenge when it comes to fighting these kinds of bosses. So instead, I'm going to take this time to point out how the music during this fight is a remix of Infinite's theme, aptly titled Infinite. Take a listen. Next is Sunset Heights. This is when I started to notice that a lot of modern Sonic stages start with collecting wisps right away so you can just boost right through them. I mean, it only makes sense because the game wants you to be going as fast as you can right away, but there's no skill involved. It literally just makes it impossible for you to miss them, so you can just press one button and win. Anyways, just run through the level like you normally would, awkwardly run forward with your arms flailing until you reach Shadow. Following that is Red Gate Bridge. This level is about 20 seconds worth of a level, and then you start fighting Metal Sonic. Metal Sonic follows the same theming as Infinite in the sense that you run slightly faster than he flies away, so if you can just keep running forward and avoiding the obstacles he sets up, you'll be as good as gold. There's a double boost section once you drain all of Metal Sonic's health, but just don't do anything, you'll stumble for a bit, and then Sonic and the Avatar will go flying right through him. Something that I just now realized is that Metal Sonic being here as a Phantom Ruby creation just doesn't make too much sense. I mean, Metal Sonic is still loyal to Eggman, right? Why doesn't he just deploy Metal Sonic instead of some Phantom Ruby creation that gets destroyed with ease? Moving on, the next stage we're heading to is Network Terminal. Aside from being a worse chemical plant than what's seen in Generations, this level is, again, not too difficult to run through. The first section is on rails, which is basically all automatic. Once you're in the chemical plant, it can be frustrating not to be able to boost around the pink liquid, but just time your jumps and you'll be fine. Towards the end of the level, just jump here and you'll be all good. After that, we're at one of the prettiest stages in the game in my opinion, that being Metropolitan Highway. You're meant to run forward and start boosting right away, but obviously we can't do that, so just keep homing attacking and jumping over the bad guys until we reach the end of this section. After this, we go off a ramp and start falling. Since we can't use the boost button, we can't even speed up our descent, so we just kinda slowly float down to the ground. It's weird how slow he falls, but while he's falling, I can tell you to leave a like on the video if you're enjoying it so far, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Now this is the first level where we see these purple guys, and there I go. Now this is the first level where we see these purple guys who run away from you. I just like to homing attack them to keep me on course. Running forward, we run into more of these purple guys, and that's when I started wondering about what they'll do once they reach the end of the road. Well, it turns out they just kind of stand there looking around and don't really do anything. So, of course, we destroy them and move on with our day. The next section is pretty easy in this level since you wouldn't normally boost here anyway. Just run through the level like normal until you reach a section where Sonic automatically runs forward, homing attack these purple guys, and the level is completed. Up next we got another Sonic and Avatar stage, that being Null Space. We start the level double boosting against our will, but it's not a normal Sonic boost and the game forces us to do it. Oh, I get it now! It's called Sonic Forces but because we're forced to have our hand held at every single possible second in this game! Anyways, we double boost forward, and I use the lightning wisp path at the end of the rails. Any wisp spawn or no wisp spawn will do for this section. This whole level is really just rail grinding and fighting a horde of enemies at a time. Just don't boost on the rails and you'll be fine. Now Mortar Canyon is a fun one. You can just jump over these guys at the beginning and fly through the air until you get into the rail grinding section. This whole level is essentially run forward, homing attack enemies when they are in your way, and don't boost. Also during this section you can jump before the slope and get some good height so you can just kind of fly over these enemies with relative ease. The final infinite boss fight is next, and this was actually a little bit tricky at first, but I have a solution. Before starting the fight, make sure you use an avatar that has the drill wisp on equipped. After hitting infinite a few times with Sonic, your avatar character will come to the rescue, and drill makes this a lot easier. As soon as your avatar character comes into play, just start spamming the drill wisp on, launching forward towards infinite. You can even use the drill to hit him when he charges right at you. After you hit him enough times, you'll automatically double boost it into infinite, and the fight will be over. Just don't press the X button and you'll be fine. Something I did learn about this stage though is that if you take too long to beat infinite, you actually hit a wall and lose automatically. I've never seen this before, so it's just something I wanted to share. Final Judgement is the penultimate stage in the main story. Sonic and the avatar character run forward, so no need to press the boost button here. Then they land on this section with some Phantom Ruby prototypes. Just destroy these and you're automatically put into a double boost section, and that's the level. It's literally crazy how short some of these levels in this game are. The final level in the game is against the Death Egg robot. Remember how I said earlier that most of the bosses in this game move backwards slower than Sonic can run? Well, this is the only boss in the whole game where you actually need to boost forward in order to catch the boss and deal damage to it. I tried everything. I tried using the drill wisp on, but it's disabled during Sonic's section of the boss fight. I even tried spamming random buttons hoping I'd move closer, but nothing worked. There's a wisp on ability that grants the avatar character a burst of speed after stomping on the ground, so I tried equipping that too, but nothing happened. Unfortunately, it looks like the only time you ever truly need a boost in this game is during the final boss, which is unfortunate. If you know of any way or can find a way to beat this boss without boosting, just let me know in the comments below. Well, after that disappointing finish to the main game, let's take a look at all the bonus stages and see which ones we can beat without the boost. Out of Modern Sonic's bonus stages, Vanish Panel 1, Bomb Block 1, Laser Cannon 1, and Fire Cannon 2 are all able to be beaten without the boost because no white wisps show up at all in these stages, and there's no enemies for Sonic to destroy that would give him some white wisps. Flying Pod doesn't have any white wisps, but it does have some enemies. The goal with this stage is just go nice and slow to avoid getting hit by the spike balls and dying, so just avoid those, homing attack enemies when necessary, and you'll be good to go. For Reverse Block 2, you'll see that Sonic's able to destroy these blocks with his body. When you come upon this section, it looks like you'll need to boost through them in order to destroy the blocks, but if you just start from a little bit away, run, and then slide, you can destroy the blocks. Keep doing this over and over until you get through. Later on in the level, there are a lot of enemies lined up, so just jump over them, or homing attack them all and you'll be good. I don't have much to say for Plasma Cannon 2, as long as you're careful with your movements and don't jump over a pit while a green ball is getting shot at you, you'll be golden. No boosting required. Finally, let's move on to Shadow stages, starting with enemy territory. You start by running forward and collecting some wisps, but as always, we're just going to avoid using them. Jump over or homing attack the groups of enemies at the start, homing attack these balloons in order to proceed with the level faster, and you can also homing attack these sets of balloons as well to get a little bit further into the level. After a little bit, you'll transition into playing in 2D. Jump over any groups of enemies that may be in your way, and homing attack the ones that will help you move further on in the level. Here's a tip for ya. Homing attack these chains of enemies. You keep attacking them one after the other, and they'll typically drop you further in the level, and at a good position as well. Just keep running through the level, and you'll hit the end easily. Eggmans Facility is the penultimate level in this run. About 3/4 of this level is sliding down water, so not much needs to be said about that. You really can just play through this level, and for the 10 seconds that you're on land, just run forward instead of boosting. It's that easy. Now for the final level, Virtual Reality. There's not really much to say, honestly. You just run through a 2D section while Omega tells you that he isn't weak. There's not much to this level, and at no point do you ever need to use your boost. And well, that's that. Let's take a look at some of the statistics real quick before the video is over. Out of the 25 levels that a boost character is playable in, you only need to use the boost in one of those levels. And it's not even the whole level, it's just the last couple minutes of a boss fight you truly need to use it. So now, you can go tell people that this game is only like 4% boost to win, instead of the whole game like everyone says it is. Going into this challenge, I honestly expected that there were going to be more sections that I needed to use the boost for, or more challenges that I would have had to conquer, but no. I promise I'll make my next challenge video harder, and also some punishments if I don't end up completing the challenge. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching the video. This honestly was fun to go back and play some of the Forces levels with a new twist, especially since I haven't played in a while. While I don't like the story of Forces that much, I really do enjoy some of these levels, and playing them with a new twist was really fun. Subscribe if you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it. And in the comments below, let me know which game I should do a challenge video for next. Have a great day, everyone. Peace.